of the Eldritch Podblast, a D&D inspired podcast. I nearly said Podblast. D&D inspired Podblast.
We didn't even plan that there.
We
but
didn't.
I just remembered from last time.
It's because I looked you deep in the eye.
Yeah, you gave me the look.
I gave you the look.
You gave me the, if you ruin this, I'm going to jump over this table and wrap my hands around your
Did
throat.
you see the sheer desperation?
Don't ruin this for me.
Please do the bit. Do the bit of saying the podcast at the same time.
We did it.
We did it. So, yes, welcome to episode 3.
Episode 3.
I can't believe that it's already episode 3, to be honest.
It feels like it's gone so fast.
It does feel like it's gone really fast.
When did we record the first one? How long ago was it?
It was Saturday. It was a nondescript Saturday at some point.
So it was...
I don't even know
not this Saturday, it was the Saturday before?
What's the date today? January 20th.
Yes.
It's the release of the second season of the Vox Machina Prime series.
Yes, it is.
So that's the only reason.
Oh my
I know
god, I
what
can't
day
wait
it
to
is.
watch that.
I know, me too. That's going to be very good. We also need to watch the...
Did you know it's been a year since the first one?
What, a year since the first Prime one?
Yeah.
Has it been exactly 1 year?
Well, yeah, because it came out in January last year.
Oh, God.
I know.
It doesn't feel like a year, but it also really feels like a year.
Yeah, I know.
Like, both of the things at the same
I know.
time. But we also have the adaptation of The Last of Us to watch that we haven't.
It's gonna be tough to watch though because we're from the UK and it's on HBO.
Yeah, I think it's easier now to watch things on HBO than it used to be.
Yeah, where are you gonna watch it? You don't have HBO.
HBO.
We can like rip it off the internet.
Don't say that. Listen, we don't rip.
Look, if any FBI are watching,
We do not
We do
rip
not.
things off the internet. Never done that
Never,
in my
ever.
life. So, anything else that we want to get off our chests, apparently?
no.
Any murders we want to...
Yeah, while we're at it,
Yeah.
while we're confessing all of our crimes.
Any petty theft?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, great. So I guess that brings us on to what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
So we have scoured our list of podcast ideas and we both came to the conclusion we wanted to talk about some homebrew rules today.
Yes.
Like what homebrew rules?
Rules.
What homebrew rules?
What homebrew rules?
What rules we like? How we found them, how you came up with them, because some of them are ones you've come up with.
Yeah.
We don't know if you're the first person on earth to come up with them.
I mean, I'm probably not.
But
I don't. There's only a couple that I haven't seen in other places that I have just made up.
yeah. Things you take an inspiration from.
Some YouTube videos, some podcasts,
Yeah.
some just general knowledge rules.
Yeah. I feel like there's some homebrew rules that are quite common that
Yeah.
we use. I say we, I mean Jack, because if you listen to our last episode, you learned that Jack is our forever DM.
Yeah.
And I
Currently.
am not. So
No. You had a couple of rules, which
Yeah.
I think we'll get to.
Yeah, I
in
had a
yours
couple rules
that I haven't taken on.
yeah.
Not because I didn't like them or anything like that, just because. Yeah, we've got enough rules
Because
already.
I
I think.
fucking hated them.
No, I didn't. Some of them were really good.
Thank you. I guess where we should start off is when and how you should incorporate homebrew rules into your game.
Yes.
It's a lot easier than I think some people think.
And also, not to, depress everybody, but, with the whole OGL thing going on,
Yeah.
like, we don't really play True 5th Edition already.
No.
And a lot of people are, like, wanting to move away in some aspect. And,
Which, same.
yeah, I mean, yeah. The thing is, it's weird, because people are like, oh, we need to get away from D&D because D&D's bad, and it's just like, look, yes, everything that's going on is bad,
Yeah.
but the rules aren't bad.
No.
There's a reason why the game is as popular as it is.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, because of a lot of reasons, but also because it is quite good.
Yes, it is.
Some of the rules are terrible and useless, but
And that's why your homebrew rules, baby.
and they're getting iterated on with the 1D&D thing and stuff like that, yeah. But the rule set is good.
Yeah, I agree. And that's not us saying D&D is the best, because it's
No.
definitely not.
There's different strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well said. Put that on my tombstone.
yeah. And we generally like the 5e rules.
Yeah.
But there is some things that we like to change. So at the minute, if you are trying to get away but don't want to run away from D&D too fast because you don't want to complicate things for your players and you don't want to complicate things for your DM,
Yeah.
these are maybe some rules that you can integrate in that you could use to stray from the D&D
Yes.
rules if you wanted to distance yourself currently.
Yeah, and we do also implore you to look at other game systems as well. For example, Pathfinder. Again, we do actually want to do a video going over some of the Pathfinder rules and seeing how they compare, because we've never played Pathfinder before.
Yeah.
But after all of this, it's something we're definitely looking into.
Yeah, I mean, I looked into it, not to get into it fully, but I looked into Pathfinder. I don't think that's going to work for our group. No.
Why?
Pathfinder's, can 100% stand on its own 2 feet as a game and has for many, many years without D&D. And the fact that they've opened their own OGL is amazing.
Yeah.
And I implore anybody who wants to go and look at it. But I know you and I know Abby, and the pressure's already on when we got to do some maths.
No.
And I think, don't quote me on this because I'll do a little bit more research before we actually talk about it, but I think it's heavily numbers based.
I see.
It's a lot more numbers based than D&D currently is.
Okay, well, I'll hold my reservation because I haven't looked at anything really. Matthew, who is one of our players, listen, we're just name dropping everyone we know. He has played previously in a Pathfinder campaign, and he said it really wasn't that different.
Yeah, but Matthew is a very smart guy.
Yeah.
And he doesn't feel the anxiety and pressure of trying to do mental maths in front of everybody else.
He's the guy who leans over the table
to do your maths for you.
To do my math, because as soon as I see a number come up on that shiny math rock,
Gone.
Just
brain empty.
It's just exactly, just the monkey with the symbols.
Yeah,
that's all.
But the thing is, the current numbers that we've got, with the amount of maths that we do need to do, we can do it. And if we need any help,
Matthew leans over the table.
Yeah.
And counts them for us.
But I think adding more of the mathematics into what we already do, isn't what we need.
Well, again, let's hold our reservation on that and actually take a proper look into it.
But also, there are God knows how many other systems.
Yes, of course there is, yeah.
So, it's not the only one.
Yeah.
But we're going to take a proper look at them.
Yeah, Pathfinder is just the main one we're looking at right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if you want to implement a homebrew rule into your game, what would you say the best way to do that is? And what point?
Ideally, do it at session 0.
Yeah.
We like to have a session 0 to go over a lot of things. Character. People do backstories at home because there's a lot of backstories and people like to send me them, and I like to go back with like, what about this and what about this, and I like this, but we like to roll our dice, get our stats in, get all that good sheet done, finished.
Get the sheet done.
Get the sheet done.
Yeah, and the shit.
Get the shit and the sheet done.
Uh-huh.
But then also we like to go over house rules.
Yeah.
House rules and homebrew rules. Luckily for me, I've got a very, very, very lenient and lovely group. And if I introduce a homebrew rule and it doesn't work, we just take it out.
You say that because they're watching.
Maybe. But also the same. Like, for instance, we tried to implement one this time.
Yes. Which one?
The spellcasters can't crit.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And, at the beginning of the game it feels really bad, but at the late game it probably doesn't feel bad. But we weren't allowed to get to the late game because people didn't like it now and they wanted rid of it right now.
You can say what happened. Jack introduced the rule that spellcasters can't crit.
Yeah. What can they do, though?
They can cast a bonus action spell as well as a normal action spell.
If they roll a natural 20, they don't do double damage. They get the chance to cast a bonus action spell.
So,
but they're all like, I want to do big damage when I roll natural 20.
No, the problem was, see, I'm a moon druid, so that doesn't really affect me too. I still had a whinge.
There was a big whinge.
Of course I did. I still had a whinge about it, but I'm a moon druid, so it doesn't really affect me. Matthew was a rogue, so it doesn't really affect him. However, we have a blood cleric and we have a shadow sorcerer. Shadow sorcerer Josh, he doesn't have any bonus action spells.
Yeah, I know he didn't at level 1 when I was made to change the rule.
But he still doesn't now at
level
level 5.
He still doesn't now, but we took it out of the game.
Oh, yes, just to clarify, we took it out of the game because we whinged too much.
Yeah, but that's fine. It's like, the thing is, at the end of the day, it doesn't affect me, so if you don't like it, there's no point in having it in the game.
Yeah.
I will say, I don't think it was given the run of the green that it should have got.
Maybe not.
But you didn't like it, so we took it out.
Yeah. And I think that's an example of our group's very lenient. We're really happy to sometimes there's week on week where you go, I'm doing this, I'm adding this in, and we just go with the flow because we don't mind.
We try it out, and if it works, it's great. If it doesn't, it just doesn't matter. But I do like to try and introduce all of the major ones, session 0.
Yes.
So everyone goes into the campaign. If that rule was to have continued, if a spellcaster crits, they don't get to do double damage, but they get to cast a bonus action spell.
Yeah.
You would then have been like, oh, I'm going to take this bonus action spell. I'm going to take this bonus action spell. It was like quite a big mechanical thing that would have needed to be in from the get-go.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
You can't just a sorcerer can't change the spells out every day.
Yeah.
A cleric can.
Yeah.
A druid can.
Yes.
So Josh would have been hindered if I'd added it in mid-game.
Yes.
So it's good to definitely do homebrew rules as early as possible. But if your players are cool with it, just chuck them in whenever you want. If you think of a good one and you run it by your players, also run them by your players.
Yeah.
It isn't good to, in the middle of the session, be like, oh yeah, by the way, I changed this and this is the way we're doing it now.
So therefore, you can't do that thing you just wanted to do.
What?
No, I'm giving that.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Example.
No, exactly. Oh, you did that cool thing. I'm really sorry, but I homebrewed a rule and now we're using it and now you can't do it.
And now I'm telling you after the
fact.
fact.
That feels bad.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it like in the middle of a campaign, make sure it's before the session.
Yeah.
Everyone understands.
Yeah. And I think, again, the whole thing about this is just have communication with your group. If you want to implement a homebrew rule, go ahead. Just make sure you talk to your group about it first before you actually get to the scenario of said rule. And then you dump it on them because...
Feel bad.
Yeah, it feels real bad. Real bad.
Feel real bad.
Yeah, it does. So do we want to talk about some of the homebrew rules that you implement in your games?
Yeah, it is we.
Yeah.
I bring them to the group, and at the end of the day, if you guys like them, then we implement them. So what's the first one?
So the first one we have is the use of the advantage/disadvantage token instead of inspiration token, which I think you got from XP to level 3.
XP to level 3. He had. It's super simple.
Yeah.
The beginning of a session, every player has a token that has an A on it, and on the other side it has a D on it for advantage and disadvantage.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the session, every player starts with the advantage up, and if they fail a skill check, saving throw, attack roll, any D20 test, if that's what you want to call it, they can flip it over, roll again, and have advantage on the roll and take the highest roll.
Yes.
They can see if they've failed. It doesn't have to be like, I do it before the roll.
You
can see that I failed. Okay, I'm going to go again.
So in that way, it is akin to inspiration.
Yeah.
But then there's the other side of it where once you flip the coin, it then goes to the disadvantage.
Yes.
Which the DM can at any point say, okay, you're about to absolutely one-shot 360 RKO my enemy.
Yeah.
Use your disadvantage.
Yeah. So it's at my discretion. I can say this attack roll, this save and throw, this skill check, I would like you to have. I rarely do on skill checks because that would be very mean.
Yeah.
But if my enemies are getting absolutely bombed,
I thought you were gonna say bonked.
True. Also bonked. Also relevant.
Yeah.
I can be like, flip your disadvantage over.
Yeah, and the thing is, I gave that as an example, but you also use it. You use it as a pity on us quite a lot of the time too.
Yeah. The caveat to it is, let's just say that somebody in the group is rolling really, really bad that day, and they're having really bad luck, and it happens.
It happens.
Happens to anyone.
I feel like it happens to us so much.
I think it happens to Abby the most.
The thing is, it happens to Abby. It happens to everyone really apart from me.
Yeah.
I feel like throughout my whole D&D adventure, I've always rolled average.
Yeah. Matthew's rolled quite well so far this campaign.
He has.
Yeah.
Considering
which is
Matthew
very
rolls
strange for
like
Matthew.
Dog shit normally.
But yeah, as I was saying, let's just say somebody's having, there's a couple of combats in the day. We get through the first combat and it's real bad.
Yeah.
Like somebody hasn't hit.
Yeah.
They failed all the saving throws.
Yeah.
And then we get to like the middle of a combat, and I know there's a combat coming at the end of the session, and they've still got the disadvantage up because they used their advantage earlier in the session. I say, oh, you want to make a perception check? Flip your disadvantage over. Me as the DM knows that there's nothing to see. I take pity. Flip your disadvantage over. You've got your advantage back up. Let's see if we can change some of your bad luck.
Yeah.
So it can be a mercy tool as well, because the last thing you want to do is wait all week to have a great time. You turn up, you roll like rubbish, and
you can't do anything.
You're having a bad time.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. These guys,
I knew you were going
at this very moment in time, we've had a few combat heavy sessions.
Yeah.
And,
which has been great.
You know, a lot of the monsters that I've thrown at you, you know, we're getting into level 5. Some of them have like saving throws.
Yeah.
Like strength saving throws for grappling and poison, constitution. These guys always get so scared that my things are going for some reason just kill. They're on full health, and I'm like, oh, can you make a constitution saving throw? They fail. They immediately flip it over, and then it comes to their turn, and then they're like, oh, I'm going to attack the enemy, and I'm like, okay, use your disadvantage, and they're like, how can you do this to me? I can't believe you do this to me. I'm like, well, you don't need to save against everything I throw at you.
Yeah.
What about you save that for if you do miss? Then you can have your advantage.
We're the typical players where it's like, yeah, we can min-max the characters. We can take really powerful options and powerful subclasses and powerful spells. But what? The monsters get to do it too.
What, the monster has a special attack?
That's not fair. We do like to lambast you for it.
Yeah, you do.
It's in...
Yeah, it's in good faith. I
was going to say it's in good jest.
It's in good jest.
but
you
listen.
better watch out.
Listen.
So yeah, I think it's a great role. I think everybody at the table really enjoys it. It definitely leans more into the player's favour than it does.
I definitely
in
agree.
the DM's
yes,
favour.
It does. Yes, it does.
You know, but it's also, we did it because inspiration. I don't like inspiration, and also we've implemented another few rules. If you are on your disadvantage and you roll a natural 1, I will allow you to flip your coin over to advantage.
Yeah, it's because we roll so fucking badly all the time. You had to do something.
Yeah, so that's another little thing that's in the player's favour. If their disadvantage is up, you roll a natural 1, you flip it over to advantage.
Yeah.
Also, what was the other thing? At the beginning of the session, it starts advantage.
It starts
for
at
you.
advantage no matter what. Yeah.
No matter what. Doesn't matter what you end the session on.
Yeah.
If you end the session on a disadvantage, next session...
starts at advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is a complete replacement for inspiration because there's nothing worse.
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
For both the player and the DM, inspiration, I think sometimes can make it can be quite unfair.
Yeah.
And it can make people feel bad without really the warrant.
Without the intention.
Yeah, without the intent. God, you would never use inspiration to make someone intentionally feel bad, I'd like to think.
Yeah, we started the last campaign with inspiration. And, you know, you guys straight away, invoices, in character, role-playing hard. Like, if I had to give out inspiration for every great character moment, I'd never stop. But, you know, I am only a person. Mm-hmm. I planned a session.
Yeah.
I had a lot of things to try and keep track of. You might do the greatest roleplay in the world, and I might just be like thinking about, oh my god, this next thing's about to happen. I need to prep myself and miss it, and then not give you inspiration. And that's unfair.
If the players are working on the inspiration system, I think sometimes you can sit there and go,
how can I get inspiration?
Oh, why did I not get inspiration for that?
Exactly.
Or if someone else at the table gets inspiration, it can be easy to be like, oh, they're better at me, better than me at XYZ, which simply isn't the case.
Every single player at your table will be good at something different.
Definitely.
And just rewarding for good roleplay takes out the people who maybe, you know, like to sit back and just take it in and stuff like that, and that's not fair. So I don't like that. Yeah.
I agree. So that is, I think, the most impactful change.
Yes.
Impactful homebrew rule we've put in.
And you should check out that XP at level 3. He does like a homebrew. Yeah. He does a list of his homebrew.
He does.
Some of them I don't agree with, but some of them are great, and every table's different.
That's the point of D&D.
You should check it out. It's really good.
Yeah, we'll put the link in the description after this. So the next one that we have is the bonus action potion / action potion roll.
Yes.
If you would like to take it away.
So everybody knows that it's very controversial that potions should be a bonus action. So this is probably one that is implemented in a lot of tables.
Yeah.
In our last campaign, we implemented this.
Yep.
Bonus action potions. I think a lot of people think it should be a standard rule.
I am inclined to agree with that.
I am also inclined to agree with that. But the thing that we changed this time was you can use a bonus action to drink a potion in combat, whatever time you like, but you have to roll the dice.
Yeah.
In combat, out of combat, you can use an action and you can gain the full hit dice.
Mm-hmm.
And basically it means in combat, if you don't want to waste an action, you can still get a small heal and hopefully get lucky on the dice. But it means basically every single time you drink a potion outside of combat, you'll get full heals.
Yeah.
Which, in my opinion, should be the way should be the way it's run.
Yeah, and I think we've already utilized it. I think you only introduced it
This time.
Yeah, was it from the beginning of the campaign? Was it?
Yeah, obviously at the beginning you didn't have any potions.
True.
Because...
Yeah, and we use it all the time, and it does give you the choice to be like, okay, can I forfeit my action to get up to the full?
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say immunity, the full potential.
Of the
healing potion, or like you said, shall I just bonus action? I don't need that much.
Yeah.
And it gives us more choices in combat, which is always great.
Yeah, I think it's in combat. Most people are still going to use it as a bonus action because they don't waste their action. But outside of combat, it means you basically just get full healing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's horrible to spend 50 gold on a potion and then roll 2 1s and then get 4 hit points.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Do you know what I mean? From a standard healing potion.
Yeah, I agree. It does suck. There's something that feels so fucking bad.
So bad.
When it comes to healing spells, healing potions, getting low rolls on a heal, it just feels real shit.
Yeah.
So that counteracts it really well.
Yeah.
And that leads us on to, when we're talking about like hit dice and stuff, the max hit dice roll that you introduced, I think only 2 sessions ago now, which we think is great.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Really great. I mean, you can go ahead and explain what it is.
So, we don't take average, when we level up, we don't take average hit dice.
Yeah.
So you have to roll.
Mm-hmm.
But we always re-roll 1s. So what we've done now is if you're a druid and you got a D8, no matter what, if you roll a 1, you re-roll it.
Yeah.
So what we've done now is whatever you roll on that hit dice, say it was a 4.
Yeah.
The next level, you can't roll lower. So your threshold has gone from 1 up to 4.
Yeah.
So you can then roll a 5, 6, 7, or 8.
Mm-hmm.
If you hit 8, the threshold comes back to 1.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing worse than rolling a 2, getting to your next level, and then rolling a 2 again.
Which has happened to a few of us.
Yes.
And I think that's what prompted you to do this, really.
Yeah, we don't have a massive disparity between our hit dice. We've got the max hit dice we've got in the party is the D8s.
Yeah.
We've got 1d6 and 3 D8s.
Yeah.
So, but it was you.
It was me. And I play the Moon Druid, so granted, a lot of the time I am going into wild shape form in combat.
Yeah.
And I am the party's tank. I definitely eat a lot of hit points up.
Yes, you do.
But the problem was, at the minute, we've just gone level 5. So at level 6, I get my CR2 beasts. At the minute, I'm still CR1 beasts. And I normally, Matthew, if you're watching this is what I shift into. I normally take on the stat block of a brown bear. No, not a brown bear. Of a bear.
Okay.
A bear of some description. A CR1 bear.
It's the CR1 bear.
It's the CR1 bear.
No one cares.
So I have 34 hit points as the bear. My hit points, I rolled 2 2s in a row.
Yeah.
So.
And you don't have a massive con mod because there was no point buffing your con because you just take on the animals' hit points.
Yes. And the argument could be made that, oh, well, you're going to be in animal form and then you can wild shape back into it. But the problem lies in that space in between where I got knocked out of my animal form and I'm in my my horrible
flesh sack form.
She's not horrible. She's a lovely drow.
Yes.
But when I get knocked into that form, is staying alive in the interim before it's my turn again. Yeah. Which when I had 25 max hit points was really hard.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
And I have gone down a few times because of my horrible flesh sack hit points.
Yeah, it was like you'd have your go. You'd be sort of mid-range on hit points in the bear.
Yeah.
But then there'd be like 4 enemies in between you and your next go.
Yeah.
And then the first enemy would come up because you were the tank and you'd be in prime position to be getting smacked.
I'd put myself in between everyone.
They'd run up, they'd hit you, they'd get you really low. The next guy'd run up, hit you, you'd come out, and then you'd have a small amount of hit points. Yeah. And then I could quite easily get you down. Not that I was targeting you or anything.
No, well,
but, you know, it was
confirmed, she targets me.
Confirmed, it's on the internet now.
God, please.
But I could get you down.
Yeah.
And so it was, there's nothing worse than coming to your level and rolling hit dice.
So that's why we introduced it.
Yeah. Not just for you.
No, not just for me. I wasn't the only one who rolled bad. I think Josh had rolled quite bad as well, and he was only on a D6.
Josh rolled really bad last campaign as well.
He did. Yeah, he was a paladin, and he was essentially our tank. He had considerably less hit points than me, a druid, again.
And Matthew was sorcerer.
Yeah.
Josh had less hit points than the sorcerer.
Yeah, to
As
be
a paladin.
fair, sorcerer had good con, but I mean, even
Yeah,
then.
he had a good con. He had like a +3 con, and I think he just rolled quite well. But yeah, it just feels bad, like especially if you need the hit points to be the tank.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you roll low. There's nothing you can do. You know, your DM can just dish out, but it just feels bad dishing out hit points to give
I know.
magic items for hit points when we could just do something else.
Yeah, I agree, and it's worked great so far.
Mm-hmm.
It's been really, really good.
And
Granted, we've only rolled once with it like that,
Yeah.
but I can already tell it's going to be great.
If you do implement this, make sure you tell your players that it's their responsibility
To keep track
to
of
keep
it.
track of what they rolled last time.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so you've all made a note like, oh, I rolled a 4 last time, so I can't roll lower than a 4.
Yeah.
And you know, if you get to a 7 as a druid, say you roll 7, you know that next time you just automatically take 8.
Yeah.
Then it resets.
Yes.
So it's nice.
Someone keep a note on it.
Yeah, that's their job,
Yes.
not yours. You've got too many jobs already.
Yeah. I guess the final one on hit dice is all hit dice come back on a long rest.
Yeah.
We don't mess around with the half hit dice.
No.
Whatever. I mean,
It feels bad.
yeah.
Again, it just feels bad. I think it's just the way that we run our games. We have combats most sessions.
We have combat pretty much every session.
Every session.
Yeah.
There might be, you know, a very heavy roleplay session. And, you know, sometimes the combats take half an hour.
Yeah.
And they're just like a little traveling combat or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
But, you know, if you're having combats every single day and they're quite hard, your players can get bogged down with not having enough hit dice to roll when they short rest.
Yeah.
So then they are then reverting to burning potions and spells, which, you know, is good if you need to do that. But I think because of the way we run the game, that works for us.
It's a good quality of life change for us, definitely.
I think it's good quality of life change for you guys.
Yeah, it really is. And we short rest a lot because I'm a druid.
Yeah, you're really the only one that needs it.
Yeah.
I give Josh a magic item that allows him to get a sorcery point back when he short rests.
So
and if he can expend a hit dice to also get a sorcery point back.
Yeah.
So it's worth it for him and
Definitely.
you.
Yeah.
But if he hasn't spent many sorcery points and everyone's just short resting for you,
Yeah.
you know.
Agreed. But I think that's a great change. And that's kind of the main lump of the health, hit dice, etc.
Yeah.
Homebrew rules. So the next one that we have that we introduced with this campaign is secret death saves.
Yes.
Again, I think we got this. I know a lot of people do this, but we also got this from XP to Level 3's
Was that where
video.
we got it from?
Yeah, I think it was.
Margaret
yeah.
likes to watch a lot of these videos with me.
I
like to pick Margaret's brain about them
Yeah.
before I bring them to the group sometimes.
Yeah.
It's always if I'm like on the verge of bringing something to the group and I'm like, what do you think of this? And, you know, even if she says she doesn't like it, I'll still give it to the group.
Yeah, it doesn't
and see
matter
what they think.
Doesn't matter what I think.
No, but sometimes it's nice to maybe like I'm just missing something and I can say it to you and you can be like, oh, but why don't you do it like this? And
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
get a
"That's
gauge
great."
on it. Yeah, definitely. Secret death saves has been spicy.
Yeah, it's been spicy.
Yeah,
It's been spicy.
been really tense.
Yeah.
We haven't had too many death saves.
I think we've had 4 or 5 death saves.
We've all definitely had one each.
Yes.
At least one each.
At least one each.
Yeah. So, and there's nothing like, because we do have a healer and we have everyone can do some sort of off healing as we learned in the last session. And I feel like sometimes if you know someone has succeeded a death save, it might not be the priority to get them up. But,
that's exactly it.
But when you don't know, someone could have rolled a natural 1 on that death save.
Yeah.
Someone could have literally 1 shot left.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think it just adds urgency to getting someone up.
It does. But it also allows you to not play around it, which is my main reason for introducing it. Let's just say you go down.
Mm-hmm.
And next it is Josh. And he's only got cure wounds because he took magic initiate and he's a sorcerer. And he can only run over and touch you to heal you. There's an enemy after him. And then there's Abby, who can heal you from far away because she's got healing word. Let's say everyone saw that you rolled a failure, Josh would be like, okay, I can't let it get to that enemy. I need to run over and heal you now.
Yeah.
If he didn't see that, he doesn't know. You can't tactically play around the death saves.
Yeah. Oh, right. I get what you mean.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Tactically playing around death saves is unfair because they don't know.
Yeah, the character wouldn't know.
Unless they want to take an action to perceive, or a medical check to perceive, how you're looking.
Yeah.
I don't like them, other people knowing. So it's definitely led to a lot of someone's gone down, get them up now.
And like the blind panic and the squabble of everyone to be like, oh fuck, oh shit, we're gonna have to do something, because we have health potions. Again, there's other means of us getting people up. Oh yeah, it's been really good. It's been.
I've really liked it.
It's
nobody's rolled a natural one yet.
No one has, no.
But I'm waiting for the moment where somebody, bless Matthew, the first session. Matthew's a very emotional roller, so I was like, everybody look away. He was the first person to go down, and he rolled it, and he went, oh, and I was like,
we were all like,
well, everyone sort of knows that you failed then, Matthew. So you've got to try and keep it bottled up.
Yeah, which is hard.
It is hard, especially in those like highly emotional moments.
Yeah, it can be really, really hard, especially when the life and death of your character's on the line.
Oh man, I failed.
Oh fuck!
Everyone can look now though.
That's exactly a 5 on the dice.
Damn it!
Shit. Anyway, but yeah, that's been really good.
Yeah, we like that.
Really
it just
enjoyed
adds
that
a little bit more tension to the combat as well.
Agreed. It adds another dimension to the combat, which I feel like a lot of the things you've done has added just another layer to the combat, which is great. Keeps it fresh.
Thank you.
No, you're welcome. So, moving on to the next one, which is the flanking changes, which again I think is quite a common one.
Yeah. So this is a controversial one for me. So it depends on my party composition what I choose.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So last campaign, I think I should have changed it last campaign. I didn't. It was alright for Josh because Josh played a Vengeance Paladin. And he was like, just walked in, got advantage and everything, and then just smiting his way through the campaign.
Yeah.
But he was the only one up there, really.
Yeah.
Until you got like your tankier summons that could survive quite long.
Yeah.
He was up there, and
later game the gameplay changed a bit.
Yeah.
But up until like level 7, 8.
Yeah.
He was by himself.
He was by himself, and obviously
fed into the walls.
Yeah. Obviously, there's lots of enemies, and there's just him, and he's the tank. He gets up there to try and get in the business, and then I'm just rolling with advantage.
Yeah.
He's rolling with advantage against one of my enemies because of our anonymity, but I'm just every enemy I'm flanking him.
That paladin got crit so much. He got crit a lot. He got crit so bad you had to give him a magic item that meant he could negate a crit.
Negate a crit, a short rest.
He got crit so often. Yeah.
But that I did that for him because when it got to that point in the game, he started being able to flank with your summons. Yeah. So I didn't want to get to that point in the game and be like, oh no, I'm going to take flanking away now that you've got somebody to flank with.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll give you something to negate a flank.
Yes.
But now you can flank.
Yeah.
And I changed it to... Are we doing +2 or are we doing plus proficiency bonus?
Plus proficiency bonus.
Right, yeah. So whatever the character's proficiency bonus is, if they are in a flanking position opposite sides of an enemy, they get to add +2 at the beginning, +3, +4 as your proficiency goes up.
Mm-hmm.
That is because I didn't want you're the tank.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew is a rogue, but he's playing a ranged rogue.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a cleric, which is a range. Abby could play closer up, but she's not, which is her choice, and that's what she wants to do. She wants to stay further away, which is probably good because she just want to keep everyone alive.
Yes.
And then obviously we've got a squishy sorcerer.
Yep.
So it would have just been the same case. It would have been the tank who's in there just getting flanked and advantaged hit all the time.
Yeah.
So I think it balances out a bit.
Yeah. I agree now. Selfishly, I was like, oh, but I want to be able to get advantage. I want advantage on the enemies, and the enemies can't have advantage on me.
It's not fair.
It's not fair,
It's not fair. Why have you done this to me and me alone and nobody else?
But when I actually stopped to think about it, it didn't. It would have absolutely been not in my favor.
No.
And you did that specifically in this case for me.
Yeah.
I would say
the same thing's going to happen though, because Josh is a shadow sorcerer, and he's going to get his Hound of Illorman out.
Yep.
Next level, because we're level 5 currently, and he gets it at level 6. He's going to get that, and then you would have had advantage flanking, because he's just going to stick it in the flanking position with you, because why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But I still think it's better, because it will still give you some sort of advantage. It'll give you now currently a +3 when you level up, a +4, and then I imagine we're going to get to the level where you could even get a +5.
Yeah, and as the wild shapes that I can turn into increase, the to hit will go up as well.
Yeah.
So it all works out.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think now that I've actually thought about it, I think the proficiency bonus flanking is probably, in my opinion, better than the advantage
It is, do you know
flanking.
as well, for any DM out there who's starting off, it is such an easier thing to balance.
Yeah.
Having advantage is statistically probably better. I think it is. It's like a plus. I can't remember.
You could have said any number.
I think it's like a +5.
And I would have been like, yeah.
Having advantage is statistically like a +5. And early game, having it a +2, then +3, then +4, then +5, really late game, but that's when your characters have got a buttload of hit points, awesome magical items, and a decent AC.
Yeah.
Then, that's when it should be a +5.
Yeah, I agree. I fully on board.
Didn't matter last session. Every single time I rolled a normal hit, I hit, and every single time I rolled with advantage, I rolled a 1 and a 2.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. That did happen, but that's just the way of the game.
I like that rule.
I like that rule now too. When I had my campaign, I didn't change it.
No.
I left it as advantage flanking.
And it also adds value to any subclass or class that can gain advantage.
Yes,
like
definitely.
Matthew is now, say I put a map in there where it's really hard to hide, or for him to hide, he'd have to really separate himself from the group, which he's learned is a bad idea.
Yeah.
Now he sacrifices his bonus action to gain advantage, which is, an amazing thing. So just giving advantage for standing on the other side of people devalues the other ways you can get
Definitely. It devalues the barbarian's reckless attack.
Absolutely.
Devalues the ranger's hunter's mark.
Yeah, that doesn't give advantage.
Does it not?
Hunter's mark, no. Hunter's mark just gives you an extra D6, I think.
Does it?
Yeah, it's like hex.
Does it? I have gone this whole time thinking it gave you advantage.
No.
That's why I was like, can I have hunter's mark, please? Oh, never mind.
Don't want it now.
Don't want it now.
Get that shit out of here.
Not advantage, I don't fucking want it.
So yeah, I think it's devalues other ways to get advantage.
I agree, and I think a lot of people would agree, because I feel like the flanking changes is quite a common thing.
Yeah.
So the next one is something that you didn't implement, but I did, although no one used it, was being able to swap your initiative with someone on after everyone's rolled their initiative and before you see the monster's initiative.
Yeah.
I say monsters, the enemy's initiative. This was something that I got from the dungeon dudes, actually. And yeah, I really liked the idea of the players being able to, if they know in the initiative someone benefits from going first, last, whatever, they can all see everyone's rolls. They can go, it will probably benefit you to go at this point.
And each fight is different for that reason.
Exactly. And, it's a tactical thing, 100%. But they don't get to see what the enemies roll. So it's not that they're taking a risk, changing the initiative, but, again, it's just another added option.
I liked it. And I think we would have used it. I think we all forgot is the reason we didn't use it.
Yeah,
And I think in your DMing tenure, you were worrying about so many other things to try and remind us.
You. Yeah, definitely.
Sometimes with a new rule, you need to just be like...
You need to keep on top of it. Yeah.
That you can do this.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a great idea.
Oh, thank you.
I think it's a great idea.
It wasn't my idea, but...
But now it's been changed, hasn't it? Because if you take the...
Alert feat in the new 1D&D rules, alert actually gives you this option as well.
Yeah.
So...
Which I think is great, because there's some classes, especially in like later iterations of the game, that really benefit from going early in the order.
Yeah, and there's some that benefit from going later in the order.
Like the assassin rogue, that was a player's handbook as well. If you go before an enemy, you get advantage.
See?
Just cool.
Yeah.
A Gloomstalker can just take out a single enemy because they get bonuses on the first round of combat.
Yeah, and
like things like that.
Sometimes as a healer, it benefits you going later on in the initiative.
Or like a wizard who sort of needs to see what the battlefield looks like to maybe control it.
To hide.
If they roll a natural 20, they can't control anything because they don't know what the battlefield looks like.
Yeah.
I'll switch with the rogue who rolled a 10.
Yeah.
Let a few people go and be like, okay, this is what the battlefield is.
Sometimes it's better for the tanks to go first so they can just run in.
Get in there and just
fuck shit up.
Soak it up, yeah.
Yeah. So that was another one that we used. We haven't used it since. So we can't really give a proper...
Hey, if you want to implement it in...
Oh, yeah, of course. No, absolutely.
If you want it in our campaign, then let me know and we'll do it.
Oh, thank you. That's completely up to the group. 100% completely up to the group. I don't mind. We either roll really great initiative, all of us, or we all roll horrible.
You're all either stacked right at the beginning or stacked right at the end.
Yeah, we are. There's the duality of man,
it's
right?
Like, you're all in like solidarity. You see one person rolls badly and you're like,
well, guess we'll all roll shit now.
We'll all do it together.
Yeah, we'll all die together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An initiative, I think you guys are starting. I've always said it.
Yeah.
Always said it. But I think people don't realize the value of initiative.
Yes.
Having all of the enemies go first and just bombarding you.
I thought you were going to say bonk again.
Bonking you. You're immediately after the first round of combat in firefight mode.
Yes.
You're not being able to do all the cool things that you want to do because you're like, I need to keep this person alive. This person's now on fire. We need to sort that out. Do you know what I mean? Like, initiative. So a lot of people, they didn't realize they could do it, but those disadvantage tokens that we have.
You can use it on initiative.
You can use it on initiative because it's a skill check.
Which, since we realized, we have used it on initiative quite a lot.
Quite a few of you have because you've been stung a few times by all going last.
Yes, definitely. And you know what? It doesn't even matter about all going last. As long as there's at least a bit of a spread, which we don't do. It's either all at the top or all at the bottom. So, getting on to our last one that we've prepared for your enjoyment is the high ground, low ground rule.
Yeah. Got this from Divinity.
Yeah, you did get it from Divinity, didn't you?
Me, you, and Matthew were playing a lot of Divinity at the time.
Yeah.
And in Divinity, if you've got high ground, I think it makes you do extra damage in that game. And I was
it goes up by percents, I think.
And because we use Tailspire, we don't use like physical maps or anything like that. I know, boo, we suck.
No.
But we have this lovely, we play on this table and we have this lovely screen. So we just use Tailspire.
Yeah.
And that means maps can have all sorts of dynamics in terms of high ground, low ground, and things like that.
Yeah, you can craft the map to be whatever you want. You can include however much high and or low ground.
Yeah, and you can spend a bit of extra movement or make me an acrobatics check to try and get up there, and then you're going to get yourself we just use it plus D4. So if you are high ground on an enemy, you get a roll D20 with a plus D4 to attack.
Yep.
Doesn't do any extra damage. And if you are low ground from them, if you're like fighting uphill, you roll with a negative D4.
And I think that's great for more ranged players because, again, going back to the flanking thing, I was going to say notoriously, but it's the melee players who are able to benefit the most from the flanking.
Yeah.
So being able to give the range an option to be like, okay, if I go... for some reason, my example is going to be, if I climb up this molehill, if I get on top of this rat's nest,
ginormous molehill,
it's like the big
on the map. Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah, it's literally the fucking biggest molehill. You get the point I was trying to make.
Yeah, but it gives like but it also makes you think a little bit more tactically. It's
yes,
like,
yeah.
Can I separate myself from the group a little bit, but then I can gain a little bit of advantage on my attack.
Yeah.
So it makes you use the terrain a little bit more, which I like.
Yeah, it's just again, just more dynamic way to play, which is great. And we're quite guilty for maybe not using it as much as we could. But that's mainly because we once again share the one brain cell and don't engage it.
Yeah, sometimes it's in there, but you can't use it for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But most of the time, I think now that it's been in quite a lot, it's one of those rules. I don't want to remind you because I don't want to have extra damage on my enemies. I don't want to give that to you.
Yeah.
But, it's there for you to, if you remember, oh, can I just move this way, get up this, climb on this thing, make an acrobatics check, and get myself a D4? Yes, you can.
I bet there's times as well you put it in the map and you don't put it in the map being like, this is definitely going to be the high ground spot or the low ground spot, but we could see something on the map and be like, could we try it?
Yeah, and I'm happy for you to try. But also, everybody out there, enemies get it as well.
Yes, enemies get it too.
Enemies get it, so enemies can play tactically.
Yeah.
You guys had a fight against a quite badass centaur woman.
Yeah.
And you guys put yourself at the bottom of a hill.
We
and
did.
They had to fight the way uphill, and she was a beast.
Rough.
Yeah.
She alone was rough, but given the high ground, low ground, whoa.
Yeah.
But it was great. So that's it really for the homebrew rules that we use in our games.
Yeah.
They work really well for us. We enjoy every single one. The ones that don't work, we talk about it and we change them.
Yeah, or just get rid of them.
Yeah.
Like my my spellcaster's cat, Chris.
Yeah, we boo straight in the bin. No. I'm sure there's loads of arguments for why that's a good thing, but we just whinge too much.
I mean, there is, and I gave you them all, but none of you cared.
Yeah.
Outnumbered, outvoted.
Yeah. And I guess the last thing we want to say about the homebrew rules is, over anything, the way we play, the rule of cool kind of trumps a lot of things.
Yeah.
If it is fucking badass enough.
You can try anything. At the end of the day, the rule book is literally guidelines.
Yeah.
Whatever rule book you use, Pathfinder, D&D, whatever, it doesn't matter. If in that moment you want to overrule it because somebody did something awesome, or somebody wants to try something awesome that doesn't fit in the rules, you can fucking do it.
Yeah.
I don't care.
At least let them try.
You can try.
If they give a good, compelling argument to why they think we should be able to do this, let them try.
And if the dice decide.
Exactly.
That's how it should work.
Yeah, I agree. And I know a lot of people don't like the rule of cool.
And a lot of people do like the rule of cool.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it...
fuck off.
I don't give a fuck.
No.
You don't have to use it at your table, but we like it.
Yeah. Again, there's arguments to be made for both of them, but yes, I firmly agree. The DM... Sorry, what am I saying? We've had to give the dog a treat to leave us alone for the time being.
Just calm down because he's getting a bit restless.
You guys are lucky you can't hear the carnage that is going on.
Because it is carnage. It's like something's getting ripped apart.
Oh, it absolutely is. Yeah, the rules are just guidelines.
Just guidelines.
The rules themselves.
But also, if you don't like what I said and you want to play by the rules 100%, do that if that's more comfortable for you.
Yes, absolutely.
Everyone's different, and I love to just make it up on the spot.
Yeah, and
some people would fucking hate that, and I understand that that's not for everyone.
Yeah, me when I DM'd,
yeah,
I struggled a lot with being able to think of things, or at least go along with those things as they were happening.
Yeah,
it's just how it is. You don't have to use them, but I feel like these. We can vouch for these because they work for us.
Yes.
They work for the group we play in and our dynamic, and we really like them.
Yeah.
And we implore you to, if you don't follow these ones, take a look. Think of your own. See what's out there.
And let us know if you've got any that we haven't mentioned.
Yeah, definitely. And maybe at some point later, we can take a look through some of the homebrew rules that people have suggested to us.
Definitely.
There is no harm in trying it.
No, definitely not. And some don't work. And don't be disheartened if you thought of a rule and it doesn't work or it doesn't fit with your group.
Yeah.
And nobody should make you feel bad.
Trial and error.
Yeah.
That's all it is. That's the whole point of this game.
Yeah. And now.
So now.
Everyone's favourite part.
Watch everyone be like, boo, we hate this.
As soon as this bit comes on, I turn it off.
It is. We're going to say it together. Am I the arsehole? D&D Edition.
That was quite good, actually.
Thank you. Yeah, it was. I don't know why I said thank you.
Yeah, I know. I was part of it as well.
Yeah. Thank us.
Why haven't you thanked me?
Oh, thank you.
Thank me.
Thank you. Yes, so I combed through. Once again, I didn't go through the official. Not that any of them are official. Didn't go through the Am I the Arsehole D&D one specifically.
The official one.
I just went through Am I the Arsehole? Searched the word Dungeons and Dragons, and this is what I came up with.
Okay.
So would you like me to begin?
I would like you to begin. I would like to hear it.
Okay. So, on to the first. Would I be the arsehole if I kicked my friend's girlfriend out of our D&D group?
Uh-oh. Already not sounding good.
So, my friend Wade and I have been best friends for 12 years. We have a D&D group together that I DM with his roommates and my brother that we've had for 2 years now. About 6 months ago, Wade started dating Penny.
Okay.
Penny just like her namesake, is not into nerdy stuff. What does that mean?
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Penny sounds like they could be a nerd.
Penny, just like her namesake. The only thing I can think of this of is The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, what? Because she's the only not nerd.
Yeah, but she is a nerd, isn't she?
Penny's the blonde girl.
I don't know. I
don't really watch Big Bang.
If there's any Big Bang Theory stands, which I know for a fact there isn't, please don't come for us.
Yeah, don't come for me, because I have no idea. I can't correct on this one.
So, sorry, yes.
That's a bit of irrelevancy, but
yeah,
carry on.
I feel like that seems really petty. But anywho.
That does sound very petty.
Penny obviously isn't into nerdy stuff.
God, yeah, of course she isn't, because she's called Penny.
Fucking Penny. She plays video games, but only like 3. And
oh my God.
Oh no.
I think I only play 3 at the minute. I think I only play 1, and that's World of Warcraft.
And she readily admits she's not a gamer. She just likes the handful of things that she enjoys. No. She engages in the things she enjoys?
Can't believe it.
So Wade's been trying to teach her Magic and some other board games that we all play. She tries, but I can tell she's not into it. She spends a lot of time on her phone, looking up rules, trying to learn. Imagine trying to be engaged.
I don't like this. I don't like where this is going.
I feel like we're making our opinions quite clear right now.
Yeah.
So anyway, one of Wade's roommates had to drop out of our D&D campaign and Penny joined us.
Okay.
She doesn't know anything. Wade constantly has to walk her through a character sheet, which she totally changed from top to bottom, except she doesn't know what any of the stats mean. It's a constant slog when it's her turn because Wade has to hold her hand through what she can and can't do.
That's a very good thing to do of him.
That's
a very nice thing of him to do.
Like, that's the whole point when you have a new player.
Hey, tell you what, mate. It'd be even fucking worse if he didn't, because it would take even fucking longer.
I know. Like, I think the idea of that's first
it's a very nice thing.
Yeah.
Let's carry on.
So there's only one more bit to this.
Okay.
So
that's not good.
Nobody has said anything, but I imagine since they live with Wade, they can't. I just want her to leave the group. We don't need 5 spots. We can manage with 4. She just slows everything down. Would I be the arsehole if I approached everyone and got a consensus of whether or not they wanted her out of the game?
Is this the guy, the DM?
Yes, this guy is the DM. He said that I DM with my roommate Wade.
Okay. Why haven't you, Mr. DM, not left it all up to Wade and taken a bit of time to get to know your best friend's girlfriend?
Yeah.
You live with Wade, right? Or is it Wade in his room? Okay, no, that's wrong. Why don't you spend a bit of time? Obviously, Wade wants Penny to play. Meet up with Penny.
Mm-hmm.
Go through the rules with her.
Why don't you go through the rules
Go
with her?
through the character sheet with her and do your fucking job as a DM.
Yeah. It sounds like this guy just
doesn't like Penny.
Just doesn't like Penny. Is it because of her namesake?
Do you want to know what? Is it because she's a woman?
Yeah. Is it because she's a girl and she only plays 3 games?
She only plays 3 games.
She's not into nerdy stuff. And the thing is, he's just assuming she doesn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
He's just saying, I can tell she's not into it. Has Penny confirmed that?
But you haven't put much effort into finding out if she likes it or not, because you haven't even done your due diligence as a DM to find out if she knows the rules. Yeah. And you've left that up to her boyfriend.
Yeah. And
who's not the DM.
You're happy to sit there as the DM. And if it really is as painful and slow as you're explaining it, then
do something about it.
Yeah, you're letting one of your players having to go through it. You're the DM. You should. Yeah.
Okay.
I think
let her borrow the book. But you haven't even done that. But you haven't even asked. He hasn't even asked if she has a book or anything like that.
And she's changed her character sheet up and down. What does that mean?
What does that mean? And who cares?
What does that mean?
If she's joined halfway through a campaign because somebody else has left, first of all, she should get more leeway because she clearly doesn't know the rules.
Yeah.
And 2,
well, he even says she doesn't know the rules because she spends a lot of time on her phone looking them up.
She should be able to. She should be able to look at her phone, and she should be able to change the character sheet because she's joined halfway through the game.
Yeah. And the thing is, he says she looks up the rules, but if she wasn't into it, she wouldn't be looking.
Tell her the fucking rules.
She wouldn't be looking up the rules if she wasn't into it, right? That's.
I hate this man.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's a man. I hate this person.
Yeah.
I hate this person.
Yeah.
This person is everything wrong with D&D.
Yeah, I agree. Just once again, do your job. You know what? Good on you, Wade, for trying to get your girlfriend involved in something that you enjoy and you like to do.
Yeah. And D&D is such a large game. It is got so many rules. Yeah, for me and you, who've played it for a couple of years now, or 3 years or whatever, you know, like, things that are simple to us and simple to somebody who's just started. It is a game that needs a rule book to run.
Yeah, definitely.
Which means there is a lot of rules.
Yeah. And we're confident on the rules now. Even then, geez, we have to look things up all the time.
I don't know every rule in the book.
No way. No one could.
No.
And in the beginning, we had to have our hands held.
Of course it did.
Our DM, Matthew, he made sure that anytime we were unsure of something, he would go through what we could do on a combat.
Yeah.
He made it so beginner friendly for us. And I think this dude just doesn't like Penny.
If she's just joined, how on earth, if you haven't helped her as the DM, do you expect her to know everything?
Definitely.
Of course, Wade is going to have to sit with her.
Yeah.
And of course, do you know what? Even if you went round and explained all of the rules to her, which you haven't because you're a shit DM, Wade would probably still need to help her because it's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
And you are purposefully excluding her.
I think you want Penny to fail.
Of course he does. He just doesn't want her to play. Of course he doesn't want to play because he's saying he's going to go around. I want to see how that ended up.
And unfortunately, there is no update to it.
Of course there isn't. Because this guy probably doesn't have anything to play with anymore.
If you didn't want Penny to play, you should have said no in the beginning.
But also, I think you need to introspectively look at yourself and think about why you don't want to play.
Why is it that I didn't want Penny to play? Why is it that I'm not putting any time and effort into helping Penny? Why is it that I am projecting my feelings onto Penny? Oh, no, it's because of my namesake. Never mind. Arsehole.
Asshole. I don't even care what Reddit says.
No, Reddit said arsehole.
Well done, Reddit, because this guy's an asshole.
Yeah, you suck. Boo!
Fuck you.
Boo. So.
Hopefully the rest are better than that. God, that was a bad start.
Well, on to the next one. So, am I the arsehole for almost initiating PvP, player versus player? In a game of Dungeons & Dragons, I was chatting up a pair of NPCs, acting as lookouts for an arsonist terror group. Typical D&D.
Of course.
Could that sentence have been more D&D? I was trying to subtly convince them to spill some information, and another member of the party walked up next to me and tried to punch one of them in the face.
Okay.
I, in character, reached out to deflect this punch as I was having more or less a civil conversation.
Mm-hmm.
The other player seemed to be surprised and mildly aggravated, and out of character warned me not to initiate PvP. I dropped the issue, he punched out the NPC, sniffed at the beer the NPC was pretending to drink. He later said that he suspected it was kerosene, which the terrorists used on their last target, and that he assumed that this house was their next target.
Okay.
Nothing came of it really, but he seemed on edge for the rest of the night, and as we were all packing up, he asked me again not to start PvP, though this time in a more light-hearted tone. I'm curious as to whether I was in the wrong for stumping his agency or something.
Okay. I think this is going to be tough without knowing the full context.
Yeah.
Because if the group had a plan and they were like, "You're Mr. Silver-tongued Bard, go and speak to these two...
These arsonists.
These arsonist protectors or whatever they are and get as much information as you can." And just because it wasn't going the way that they thought it might, the barbarian, I'm just, freeballing here, runs over and just punches one because they think it's not going the way that they thought it was.
Yeah, although there is no indication to say it wasn't going the way they thought it was.
I know. So I feel like, did they have a plan and did they divert, or did they not have a plan and this was just two different people's opinions on how the situation should have gone?
Yeah, I think we can only really go on the information that's here. And the question they're asking is, am I the arsehole for almost initiating PvP? But I don't necessarily know if deflecting a player's punch counts as PvP, right?
Yeah, but did he sort of want to after that?
What do you mean?
Turn around and be like, "You ruined my plan"?
Bonk.
Gives him a swift clip to the jaw.
Which one?
The guy who was there already talking.
I don't know.
So, something that I've learned through my years of playing D&D
Yes.
is in big moments, when things don't go right, real life emotions can bleed into the game.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we all care.
Yeah.
Like, if this group obviously cares quite a lot.
Yes, yeah.
This person's obviously cared enough to write a Reddit post about it and find out if he thinks he's the asshole.
They're obviously immersed. And there's obviously a plot thread going on here too.
And obviously the other guy who ran over and punched the dude, he obviously cares as well.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to do that. So I think as a D&D player, I think you need to understand that if you do care and if you are immersed and if it is high stakes, things like this happen.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to not let it get on you.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's been plenty of times where you guys have had conflicting opinions, or I've had a conflicting opinion with another character, and sometimes, things get a little heated.
Yeah.
When they shouldn't.
Yes.
But sometimes...
That's because we're humans and our monkey brains can't control our impulses.
But it's because you all care so much and you want things to go right and you want things to, work out.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they don't, and that is frustrating for you as a person.
Yeah. Yeah. As a player, and let's say that, this was the plan. They had a conversation. They were like, you go talk to them and you get the information from them. If they had agreed on that plan, and then this player just comes in and is like, I punch him in the face.
That shit fucking pisses me off.
Yeah, that's really fucking annoying.
That shit fucking pisses me off.
Like,
and also, depends. We don't know a huge amount of context, but it's difficult for the DM as well.
Yes, of course
because,
it is.
The DM then has to deal with, if this was in the middle of the town, say so, and then this guy runs over and he just punches this dude in the face.
Who sees that? Are the guard around?
Yeah.
Do people get involved?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But at the same time, make your own decisions. Like, I don't know the context. The DM might be totally fine with that. He might have found it hilarious, but, I don't know. I think it's hard. Because the question is, am I the asshole for nearly initiating PvP?
Yeah.
Deflecting a punch isn't nearly initiating PvP.
No, I wouldn't class that as...
I don't know why the other person said that.
Maybe if this person isn't a great communicator, them saying, you shouldn't have tried to initiate PvP with me, was maybe them in a roundabout way saying, you shouldn't have tried to stop my plans?
Or was it a threat?
Maybe.
Like, don't do that again or I'll initiate PvP.
Oh, break your neck.
I'll initiate the PvP.
1v1 me.
You don't want the PvP.
I don't know. I think there isn't enough information here to know. But to answer the question, am I the arsehole for almost initiating PvP? No, I don't think so.
In this situation, you haven't been an asshole. And the thing is, in this situation, I don't think the other person's been an asshole. I think it was a bit of a strange reaction.
Yeah. And
to say don't initiate PvP.
They finish it saying, was I in the wrong for stumping his agency? I don't think you stumped his agency.
I think maybe, if anything, he stumped your agency.
Your agency.
And then you stumped his by him stumping yours, but he was the first one to initiate it. There's a lot of stumping.
Yeah, a lot of stumping.
A lot of stumping.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to figure out.
I agree, but...
with this much context, the other person's more of an asshole than you, but I don't think anyone's really an asshole.
No, I don't think anyone's an asshole. And especially this person. I don't think this person's the asshole.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, Reddit agrees.
But I don't like inter-party conflict, personally.
What, between characters?
Yeah, me personally, I don't like it.
Yeah, I think there's levels to it. Like, I think it's important for your characters to disagree on things.
Yes.
I think it's important.
I don't like characters coming to blows, though.
No.
Don't like it.
I agree.
It's strange because I think there's a lot of parties that would completely disagree with me, and I totally understand. But our party makes such a conscious effort to meet up in the first session, get along, not like have this weird like, oh, who are you and stuff like that. You guys make such a great effort to get along.
Yeah, although I have done that before. In the first campaign we ever played, I played a really aloof, cold character, and I ended up really regretting it.
Yeah.
Because I excluded myself from so many things.
I think it's personal preference, and I think from our experiences, that sort of character and the inter-party conflict has never felt good for us.
Yeah.
And that's just made me not like it.
I agree.
There could be totally different situations for you where it's created nice dynamics and stuff like that, but For us, nah. Thinking of a plan and disagreeing and thinking of different plans and like even viewpoints of the world, disagreements makes beautiful party dynamic.
Yeah, I agree.
But disagreeing with people and being like, right, well, I'm going to punch you in the face then. Nah, don't vibe with that.
I agree. No, you're not the asshole.
Nah.
No.
Agreed.
So, second to last one. Would I be the asshole if I left this D&D group after how I've been treated?
These are normally not good.
Well, I recently joined a group of strangers from the internet to play D&D, and we all really hit it off.
Good.
So much so that I got invested in my character and his backstory.
Amazing.
I came up with the story for my arcane trickster rogue once he became 3rd level.
Nice.
With the help of a mage friend, he banished his acting coach and magic instructor, a talking owl, after she got on a power trip. Good for you.
Very good.
Fuck that owl. Now that he's been a wizard, an NPC with the party, and has come into his own magical abilities, he'd like to summon her back under his control with a Find Familiar spell. Cool?
Cool.
It's cool to look forward to see what you want for your character.
Like the vibes.
I talked about all of this with my DM and she approved, even saying that the NPC wizard would help out in summoning her initially.
Mm-hmm.
Come next session, our first session at 3rd level, we start out in a camp. I begin to roleplay all that we had planned, beginning by asking the wizard to help me in the ritual. My DM shut down the whole thing immediately and told me the wizard couldn't help because he doesn't know the spell Find Familiar. She then told me that I would summon her by myself and we didn't need to play it all out. Next, she said that this character I'd spent genuine time and effort crafting couldn't talk to the other party members because she's just an owl. All this is after hearing and approving the whole backstory. I'm genuinely hurt. Would I be the asshole if I left and just tried to find a different group after this?
That's really disheartening.
That's so mean.
That's really disheartening.
Like, I don't understand what has happened between the conversation and the DM being like, yes, and the wizard can help you.
Yeah. I don't know. Did they just... Obviously, things have got lost in translation here between the DM and the player.
I don't know if it has.
But if the DM wanted those things to be true, like he couldn't talk to the rest of the party, and the wizard couldn't do it, and it was you, then those things should have been discussed. But if she said that the wizard was going to do it, and then we fleshed out this Owl's backstory...
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And the poster says I began to roleplay all we had planned, and then they immediately shut it down.
That's rubbish.
Something's obviously happened in between there,
Yeah.
which obviously this person doesn't know about.
No.
Because that's come as a surprise. I wonder if something has happened where maybe the DM has discussed this plan with someone else,
Mm-hmm.
and this person has been like, oh, no, that's not a good idea for XYZ.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
Something has obviously changed
Yes.
between the time that they've spoken and the time that the session came round.
This is a really nasty thing to do, player. If they've come to you with look, there's some players who don't even come to you with backstories.
Yeah.
There are some players who don't even think about backstories. They just turn up and want to play and stuff like that, and that's fine. Like if that's but this person's gone out of their way to think of a backstory, find out a way that they've tied a wizard, magic, spells into their rogue that is an arcane trickster.
They have an acting coach, baby.
That's flavour. That's really in sort of keeping with the vibe of the character. And for you to accept all this and then get into the session and shut it down is really disrespectful.
Yeah, it is. And I don't blame you, the poster, for being upset here. They said they're genuinely hurt. I would be too.
I'd be devastated.
I would feel like an idiot.
I don't think I could not call the DM out.
I know.
In the moment.
I know. And kudos to you for not doing that if you didn't, because I wouldn't have been able to restrain myself
Neither would
either. But yeah, something's obviously changed.
Something's gone wrong here.
And that is...
On the DM's half.
That's so unfair.
Extremely
and
unfair.
That is really mean, and that is really hurtful.
That is.
And I would be upset too.
I would be upset too. I wonder why it's happened.
I don't know. And to be like, I went into the role play and then the DM shut it down. That's just... mean.
And to shut down character backstory roleplay, like they're the juice of the session. That's the good stuff.
Yeah.
That's to have a player who wants to think of a backstory, then turn up and then begin to roleplay like a part of their backstory. If you shut that down,
so we don't need to play it out.
That's so bad.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel so bad for this player.
And
this player, I'm not gonna get this player is an asset to any group they're in.
I completely agree. That they even said I got so invested in everything, and they've had the forethought at level 3 when I get fine familiar, I would like to do this.
And even if the thing is, even if you sort this out, even if you got your DM after the session and you're like, why did you do that? And they say, oh, really sorry, like I had this thought, I had this thought.
Change my mind.
I don't think that player's ever going to trust that DM again.
No.
You've burnt the bridge.
Yeah, but bridge burned.
Bridge burned. If this person does trust you again, you should be really thankful to them because really, you don't deserve a second chance as a DM like that.
I hope this player's left. I hope the player left the game.
You put yourself in like a vulnerable place when you roleplay.
Yeah, you do.
You do.
You really do. No, you do.
Because, like for some people, you can let a lot of like real life emotion bleed into your backstory. I know that, in our group and things like that, especially you and me and my first character, like things that are going on in our lives sort of get reflected in our characters. And I know there's a few people that do this. So if this is something that this person has gone through and sort of been like, I want to get this out in D&D. I want to get this out in roleplay. To open yourself up and then be shut down.
And your DM approved it.
Unforgivable.
I agree. You are not the asshole.
No.
Your DM is 100% the asshole.
Yes.
Here. Shouldn't have done that to you. And I'm sorry. And I hope you left.
I hope you left.
I hope you managed to take your arcane trickster and he managed to bring back his vocal coach.
His acting coach.
Yeah.
His acting coach.
And magic instructor.
Yeah.
I agree. I hope that all worked out for you in a different game.
Yeah.
Okay, on to the last one.
Okay.
So, am I the arsehole from banning my wife from talking to a male friend after he started flirting while playing D&D?
This is already... Oh my god.
My wife and I have been together for 10 years.
Okay.
The problem started in the D&D group we have with some mutual friends and my wife's oldest friend, Patrick. Patrick is a very good-looking guy.
Uh-oh. Jealousy. Uh-oh.
He runs marathons, owns a successful business, and is perpetually single.
I'm jealous of Patrick.
What do you mean?
Not the single part, but the marathon part.
Yeah.
My body's not built for marathons.
Oh, no, my body is destined for one thing and one thing only. That is laying in bed, eating food. He and my wife have no romantic history, and they've been friends since they were kids.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if it's because he's locked down and he can't get out and date, but for the past 2 months, Patrick has been getting really flirtatious with my wife.
Okay.
My wife is the DM in our group, and Patrick has started flirting with all of her characters, which my wife responded to in character really well at first, but lately has been clipping the interactions shorter and shorter. I know that she even had a talk with Patrick about not making the game so sexual. We talked about it and she agreed that he's getting flirtatious, but she just thought he was bored and lonely. She said she talked to him about it. Then one day last week, my wife was in the shower and a message popped up on her phone.
Okay.
It was Patrick. And it said, I understand what you're saying, but please hear me out. This is tearing me up. I waited until my wife got out of the shower and asked her if I could see the rest of the messages, and then we opened it together. Her message to him was about how inappropriate he was being, and that she wondered if it wasn't just depression clouding his judgment, and did he want to talk about how he was feeling in isolation.
Okay.
Patrick's reply then said how beautiful she's been looking lately, and how he can't help himself getting flirty while we were playing because he is just so into her characters, because she's such a fantastic DM, so creative, expressive, funny, etc., etc.
Patrick.
My wife was upset, and she said she talked to him again, but I said I want to talk to him. I told her he's out of the D&D group, obviously, and I didn't want her talking to him at all anymore. She called me controlling, and she said she could handle it and thinks we should go easy because he's probably just not dealing with lockdown very well. We need to handle it gently. I disagree. Am I the arsehole here from banning my wife from talking to him and wanting to talk to him myself?
Patrick.
There's a lot of layers to this.
There's a lot of layers. This went in every different direction.
Didn't it? This looked like
at
it was
the beginning.
going in one
I was
way.
like, "Ooh, this guy," and then Patrick was, and then it was. tough. It's so tough. It's so tough. That's a really, really tough one.
It's tough as well, given the roles that everyone's playing here. The fact that she's the DM.
Yeah.
And he's a player. Mm-hmm. And yes, these two are married.
Yeah.
Patrick's the oldest friend. What's your surface level thoughts on this?
It's really complicated. So, like, if he's going through things, like being in that place, there is certain things that bring you out of it, and you sort of do what you can to get yourself out.
Yeah.
Moving in on a marriage,
isn't
the right thing
to
do.
She already had to have a conversation with him because it was getting really sexual.
She's obviously uncomfortable, and
yes, and we know she's uncomfortable because she's talked to him about it.
Yeah, and he should have respected that. The fact that she's had to go to him and speak to him and say, like, you're making me uncomfortable with how sexual it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's not fair.
No.
But the thing is, if in that moment he goes, you're right. Yeah. I'm really sorry. Mm-hmm. But the fact that he's like pushing at that point is inappropriate.
Yeah, I agree. It's completely
inappropriate. And he should respect her boundaries.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. And the thing is, she's also very clearly set her boundaries as well. And the poster says when she actually spoke to him, which I'm assuming is what prompted this message to come through, that she said he was being inappropriate and she was worried that his depression was clouding his judgment.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is asking, is he the asshole from banning his wife from talking to him? I wonder if she's had this conversation with him, but she's phrased it maybe in a way that the husband doesn't agree with.
Yeah. I can understand this guy wanting to talk to Patrick.
I can understand that too.
Because, if she said no, like, this is no means no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no matter what.
And he isn't respecting that. And the whole, look, your marriage, I don't understand how it works. Mm-hmm. Like, everyone's marriage is different. Yeah. I know if we were in this situation and somebody had done this to you, mm-hmm. and then he'd come back and said those things, mm-hmm. and I was like, let me talk to him. That wouldn't be because I don't think you could.
No.
Because I know you're a strong, independent bitch, and
Thank you.
You can fucking look after yourself. But, I would want to help you.
Yeah, I think maybe the three of them having a conversation is probably the way forward,
That's
right?
probably a good idea.
Having them all together, having the conversation together.
Yeah.
I think at this point, Poster just wants to tell Patrick to get fucked.
Yeah, and
right? Understandably so.
Do you know what? Rightfully so as well, because if she has, if the DM has said, it's making me uncomfortable, please stop.
Yeah.
And then she's she's picking herself up every week and going back to D&D and, still playing D&D how she wants to, and he's still making her uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I couldn't help but be like, I want to fucking fight this guy.
Yeah, I agree. And Poster has said that she's now calling the husband controlling and saying she can handle it herself.
Right.
So there's two different things going on here right now.
There is.
Patrick is not respecting her boundaries.
No.
I also think that maybe husband is trying to take on too much of that for himself.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, am I the arsehole from banning her to talk to him? Yeah, you can't ban her.
You need to respect what she wants.
Yeah.
But this is the thing, isn't it? Because I would want to help you. I wouldn't mm-hmm. ban you from talking to somebody.
Yeah. But if this was us and I said, I've got this, I can handle this, maybe
respect.
Yeah, it's not bothering me for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Would you still want to talk to him because it bothered you?
I think I would try to let you deal with the situation in your own way. But mm-hmm. the thing is, it's strange because we have a unbelievably open relationship in terms of, like, we'll tell each other everything, how we're feeling. We can read each other quite well, and when we're uncomfortable, like, I don't know their marriage, so it's hard to understand. But if she's saying, I want to deal with this, don't step in, then he should respect that.
Mm-hmm. I think it's human nature to want to talk to him.
Of course it's human nature. I understand. That's fine. That guy wanting to talk to Patrick is fine. But banning your wife from doing, like,
I know.
You don't have just because you're married doesn't mean you can tell her what to do, my friend.
Yeah,
that's not how it works.
Also saying, I told her he's out of the D&D group. Obviously,
she's the DM, not you.
Yeah, that's why it's difficult because she's the DM. So a lot of this should go through her as well.
But it's also a group decision.
Yes,
not a poster's decision.
Yeah, I wonder how many people, like other people, play in this group.
Did it not say?
No. Just says we have a group with some mutual friends and fucking Patrick. Fucking Patrick.
Patrick's still an asshole.
Patrick's still an asshole.
Still like a fucking massive asshole.
Yes.
And also, by the way, I don't think it's appropriate when you know she's married and her husband's in the group.
And you've been married for 10 years.
Yeah, and for you to be like, it's making me like comfortable, like how good looking you've been.
I know,
That's bullshit.
I agree. Patrick, you're a bad man.
You're a pretty fucking...
Whatever is clouding your judgment here, if she's telling you she's uncomfortable, you can't then go, oh,
but it's making me feel good.
Can we, like, is it really, you know what I mean? You can't do that.
No.
So I think everyone, to be honest, I think the best thing for this is probably Patrick goes.
Patrick goes. Probably. But let's answer the asshole question.
Okay, yeah.
Patrick's an asshole. The poster's an asshole. That's it.
Yeah, I think everyone kind of fucking sucks here, really.
Yeah, the DM doesn't.
Oh, no, DM doesn't
The DM
suck.
doesn't.
But I think the three of them
need to have a conversation
in private together and talk out what they're going through.
Do you not think it's too far gone? Do you not think Patrick sending those messages, those bridges are already burned?
I don't know.
I think to me there would be.
There could be things we don't know that are affecting.
That's true.
His messaging. There could be some sort of substance abuse
Doesn't
going
matter
on.
if she's feeling uncomfortable.
No, I agree. I fully agree. But behind that message specifically, we don't know.
Yeah.
And I think they would have to... I think they should have a conversation and talk about it if she is comfortable to do so.
I do hope that Patrick got himself sorted out. Because it sounds like he's going through something pretty bad.
Yeah, it does sound like Patrick's going through something, but
so,
you can't let it...
You can't
do
those things.
To your oldest friend and her husband of 10 years. Sorry, Patrick.
Hope you saw it, but sorry.
Sorry, but you're an asshole. Dude who posted, you can't ban your wife from...
Can't fucking ban you. You don't have fucking control over it.
Can't ban anyone from talking to anyone.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that shit.
And Reddit agrees that the poster's the asshole. I actually didn't have the time to comb through the comments and see what people were saying. I just saw the conclusion. But
I'm going to retroactively tell you right now that Patrick is the asshole.
Okay, right.
And Reddit is agreed.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's all the Am I the Assholes I've got for you.
They were good. There were some juicy ones.
There were some juicy ones. Yeah, some good old juices there. Yeah, I thought, I picked the ones that I thought we would have the most opinions about because isn't that what everyone does?
Yeah, that was good.
Good.
They were good ones.
Glad you enjoyed them.
Nicely done.
Thank you very, very much.
Preparation.
Thank you for...
You did a great job.
Thank you.
Applause.
Oh, no.
Applause.
No, please. I'm just a little worm.
Just a little cobalt.
Please. Well, I think that just about does it. Anything you'd like to say to sign off with?
Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you.
And I'm excited for next one already.
Yeah, thank you all very, very, very much for watching. This has been episode 3 of Eldritch Podblast. If you enjoyed it, please give us a like.
Yeah.
Leave a comment.
Yeah.
Ring the bell.
Subscribe.
We have a link to all of our socials down below. And we will see you next time.